Good to see some of the old timers back, including Edwin. But Edwin, I'm glad you did this because, very honestly, I forgot your name. I recognize your face, but I forgot your name. So good you did the introduction. Okay, I'm going to start with this. I need one volunteer who's currently single. Don't stand up. Just put up your hand. Let's see, we all. Okay, Tabby. Okay, I'm going to ask you a question. But while I ask Tabby the question, I want all the others who are single to think about this question. And in your heart, answer this. Okay? It's a very simple question. Have you ever experienced the feeling of being alone? Yes. Okay. Thank you. Now, I need another volunteer. This time, I need half of a married couple. Meaning, I'm going to ask one of the couples. I mean, one of the persons in the couple. But you need to have finished 1 year of marriage. Okay? Because that honeymoon time I want over. Okay, so who's volunteering? Who's married? Okay, Chris. Okay. Question for you. Have you ever experienced the feeling of being alone in your married life? Now, wait, before you answer, and I'm specifically adding this for you, I'm not only talking about physically being alone. It could be a particular situation at work or home of not being understood and just generally being feeling alone. Okay. Do you find it a little strange that both answered yes for being alone? Whether she was single or whether you were married. Okay, I second you, Chris. I second you, Chris, because I too have felt that. Okay? But I assumed that once you get married, you will hold hands forever. No? No? You will watch sunset in each other's arms. And this question of loneliness will never ever arise again. Okay? Not true, right? Because we both checked this out. But thank you, Chris and Tabby. Now, a big misconception today is that marriage will take away any shred of loneliness. Huge misconception today. Okay? Marriage will take away any shred of loneliness. Once you are married, you have made it. You have arrived. Now I am married. Okay? Now, think about this. We'll put it in perspective. When you die, do you die as a couple or single? Okay. So that it makes sense, no, when you give these vows at the altar, until death do us part. But the only person who will be with you, even when you die, is Jesus. Okay? Good. So today, we're going to talk about this beautiful thing called being single. Okay? And I promise you, this is truth. Not long ago, I too was single. Only 3 years, huh? Okay. But one of the common things which when you hear I'm single is this glaring thing in your face of I'm alone. Okay, of being alone. And this is a snippet. This lady I found. I tried to get the full YouTube talk, but I couldn't. But I like this part. She is, I would say, in her mid-40s, and she's single, and she talks on the subject of theology of the body. And she says, there are 3 phases of being single. And I love it, okay? So the first phase is, woohoo! I'm single, okay? The second phase is I'm going to a lot of people's weddings. And the third phase is, where did everybody go? Okay, so the reason why I liked it is because, in a sense, it is a flashback of my life. Okay, but how many of us who are single here? Okay, so how many of us are single here? Now you can put up your hands up. Feel free. We all know. Okay. There are more couples than singles? No, no. No. Married means married, single means single. So there's no in between right now. Huh? Sorry. Sorry. Thank you, Carol. I had to. Good. So most of us are single in the room right now. Yeah. Okay. Good. But for the married people, I hope this session has something for you all too. Okay. So today in Dubai, actually it's not only today, it is a fact that there are more men here than women. If you look at statistics in Dubai, I have not looked it up, but I'm sure it's true because I heard it once, that there are more men in Dubai than women because of work, etc., etc. Okay? Now, so in that situation, it sometimes is difficult to find, for the guys I'm talking about, to find a life partner, right? That's the truth. And there seems to be a tremendous pressure from society, family and friends to reach this destination. Okay? Our parents want to see us settled. I myself had to meet many girls on my holidays to Goa, which never really worked out. But it did have its effects. I promise you it did. It sometimes leaves you with a feeling of being depressed, being lonely, being just losing hope. You know, when is this? When is this going to end? And I'm also towards the end of it, I was like getting fed up of it. Yeah. So there is that reality. Yeah. And Mother Teresa very beautifully says, loneliness is the most terrible poverty today. Now, how many of us who are single here have been, or even those of us who are married and was single a few years back, have had this experience of people frowning at you or making these weird faces at you? Oh, you're not single. Oh, you don't have a girlfriend or a boyfriend. Oh, something's not right, man, with you. Have you had that experience? Yeah? I've had it, okay? I've had it big time. And then the immediate question is, are you thinking about priesthood? The objective of your parents or society is you must reach this destination. Okay? Now, being single is not being in limbo. Okay? Being single is not being in limbo. You can have a full, rich life as a single person. And too many singles today are putting their life on hold because they want to reach this destination. Like I said in the beginning, marriage doesn't mean that you will not be alone. Okay? So if you think that marriage is, you have arrived, this is life, ask the married people here in this room. Okay? Now, let me emphasize this about putting life on hold. Now this is for everybody, if you had to know that you had few months to live, what would that make you do? Would you go to your boss and say, listen, I have these accounts to finish and I will finish it? You had only a few months to live. I don't think so. I think you will do the things that matter. The relationships that are important to you, the relationships that you've neglected, you will do things that matter. So suddenly, your perspective of life changes. You don't want to hold doing things that you need to do any longer. Okay? It's urgent. So, for those of us who attended Mass already, one of the things I didn't know, but today was Good Shepherd Sunday, Vocation Sunday. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Okay. So what does vocation mean? Anybody knows? It's a call. You're half correct. Call from God. Vocation has been understood to indicate a call from God and a subsequent public vow. Okay? So if you're a priest or if you're or a nun or a married couple, you have to publicly vow that you have committed yourself to this. Okay? Now, I'm going to write this on the board because this is something important. gift of himself. Okay? Man finds himself only as a sincere gift of himself. So those of us who are single, we haven't taken any formal vow, okay, to give our lives to somebody. And in that case, in the strictest sense, which is the definition of vocation, we are not committed to somebody, okay? So are we saying, and I want you to answer this question, are we saying that single people cannot find himself or herself because they have not given the sincere gift of self to one another or to God? Understood the question? It says here, in a vocation, okay, one has to give oneself or life to somebody or someone, okay? Whether you're a priest or whether you're married. You have to publicly vow to do this, okay? If you're single, does this apply to you? Yes. Okay. Okay. That's not part of the teaching, by the way. But yeah, that's true. That's true. So my point is, Sean, you're correct. My point is, even though we are single, doesn't mean that we are not called to this vocation of learning to give of self. Okay? That is very important. Because the church teaches us that man finds himself when we give of ourself. Okay? So, gift of self. Okay, now, for those of us who are here in the room, how can we, as single people, and even as married people, it's applicable to both of us now, how can we practice this gift of self? I'm telling you, for me, I've got a long way to go in my married life, this gift of self. It's not easy. But how can we, being single now today, how can we practice this gift of self? Any ideas? What about in our family? Can we practice gift of self? You understand what is gift of self? No. Gift of self is the opposite of it is I want to take. I want to use. Gift of self, I will give my time. I will give a lending ear. I will give of myself even if it hurts me, even if it causes me inconvenience. I will give of myself. That is gift of self. So how can we practice this gift of self even when we are not married or we are not called, we've not made a vocation in the priesthood? Family? Okay, anything else? Friends, very good. Sorry, charity?